So mom writes, my 9-month-old is suddenly waking overnight and sitting up and is very reliant on the pacifier. How do we break him of that habit? So the sudden waking overnight, assuming the pacifier has been a tool that your baby uses all this time and that was not happening prior, that's probably related to a progression in brain development that happens around the 8 or 9 month mark. There's also a lot of physical development. If the learning to sit is new, I don't know if it is, that could be factoring in. So maybe he's just a little bit revved up with development, which is causing sleep to be a little more restless. And then once he's awake with this restlessness, he's noticing that he wants someone to come and help with the pacifier. So I don't think the pacifier in and of itself is the issue, or that you necessarily have to break him of that habit. You certainly could choose to, in which case you'd want to help him learn to fall asleep without it so that he's not looking for it as if it's missing in the middle of the night. And that would probably require using some sort of sleep learning strategy at bedtime when he's upset. But assuming that you just want to keep it and not have to help him with it in the middle of the night, I think that's a reasonable expectation for his age. Probably he has the pincher grip that's required to kind of go and grab the passy and pop it in his mouth. Whether he realizes that that's something he could do or should do, you might have to help that awareness along. So I would think about just doing less than you're doing now. It doesn't mean you have to ignore him and let him flounder himself, by himself in the middle of the night, but you might pop in, find wherever the pacifier is, maybe put it in his hand rather than directly in his mouth, and if necessary, kind of put his hand to his mouth. You're suggesting like, hey bud, this is something that you could do maybe next time or sometime soon. And from there, if it's not getting better, you want to do even less. Maybe you just point out where it is and say, hey, there's your passy, but not actually do anything physical about it for him. And ultimately, you may just have to say, dude, it's in there. If you need it, I'm just going to let you find it. But also make sure that it's possible for him to find it. If it's pitch black, then you probably need to add some sort of light. Again, I said a few videos back, put several, because it's easier to find one of several than it is to find one of one. Really, at this point, you don't necessarily have to ditch it from a sleep perspective. A dentist, a doctor might give you a different opinion for other reasons. You just have to get him to the point where he realizes that if it's missing and he needs it, he can go look for it. He can pop it back in himself. So decide which route you want to go and decide how you can help a little less. And then probably this waking's going to taper off when whatever development he has going on settles down. I hope that helps.